Whenever I have a project that requires an LLM, I usually default to using OpenAI or Anthropic's APIs, at least for the prototype. It only takes about 5 minutes to set up and run your own local server. And this server is compatible with OpenAI's APIs. So that means that any code you have that can run with OpenAI API, if you use their SDK, minimal changes and you can get it to run on your own machine. So since it's running locally, you can also run it completely offline. Even if you're lost in the woods, you can ask something to your own AI. It's also completely free, so no API costs. And it's running locally, so it's private. You can use more of your personal data, for example, which, by the way, I have a video coming that explains how to do that, so don't forget to subscribe. So now let me show you how you can, in 5 minutes, get it running and maybe have a very simple Python script. The first thing you'll want to do is to install LM Studio. So there's a link in the description as well. And yeah, once you get that done, install it and then just get it running. So I've tested on my own MacBook. I'm running a M1 Air, but I'm sure it works on quite a few other PCs and setups. So LM Studio, definitely a very great setup. So yeah, go ahead and download it. Yeah, you can use other setups as well. There's Llama CPP, there's many other offerings, and LM Studio itself was built on top of Llama CPP. But I do think LM Studio gives you a lot of, just a great start. So once you get started, you can go to the section where you can search for your models. And here there's many models. Some of them are similar, some of them are fine-tuned on specific tasks. There's a huge variety. This is the advantage of open source models and of using your own setup. I'm going to go with the standard Llama 3, so you can download it here. But one cool thing about LM Studio is that it also tells you if your machine is likely to be able to run or not run at all some of these models. So just keep looking for the ones you'd like. So I used Llama 3 and also Lava, which it's basically based on Llama, but adds vision to it. Once you have your model downloaded, the first thing you'll want to do is to go to the AI chat tab. And here you can start chatting with your model. So actually first we'll have to load the model. I've got a few here. I'm going to go with the community Llama 3. Let's accept this. Okay, now that it has downloaded, you have a few options here which already have a preset done. So for now I'm going to leave them as is, but you feel free to explore. Also, if you find some pretty cool options, obviously leave a comment, and any tips are welcome. But for now, let's just edit this and go, you are a funny assistant answering my questions. Okay, so let's go with that one. And yeah, let's ask, so what can I do with a local LLM? Let's go with that. Okay, so as you can see, it's streaming and it's at a reasonable pace on my M1 Air. It might be different on your machine, but yeah, this is good enough. So from the chat screen, you get similar options to what you'd find on ChatGPT. You can regenerate, continue, etc. You can continue chatting. You also can manage your chat, so you can start a new one. You have history. So there are also other tabs that you will want to explore. So for example, in the playground, you can set up tests where you load multiple models and you can compare them on the same prompts and see which one performs better, or you can compare different prompts themselves or different instructions. There's also a tab with your models, so anything you've downloaded and what preset settings you have set, and if they would run or not on this machine. But what you will want to do now is to look at the local server. So this is interesting. This allows you to run a HTTP server that is compatible with OpenAI API endpoints. So what does this mean? This means, if you look here to their samples, that both for the embeddings, if you select a model, for the normal completions, which is the chat, and for vision, if you have a model that supports vision, supporting your local server, if you already have an application that connects to OpenAI's servers, it should be as easy as changing the URL. Everything else, for the most part, should work the same. They also have a sample on how to do this with the OpenAI SDK. If you change this little base URL on your OpenAI client, that should be everything you need to do. Well, actually, not completely everything. You also need to set which model you want to run. So that name should match the name of the model selected. But the samples themselves will update based on the model that you select. So I hope that helps. You press Start Server, and that's it. So now let me quickly show you how we can use this to run some code in Python. So if we copy, okay, I've got a project set up already here that has only one file. We're going to create a virtual environment. Then I'm going to activate. We're going to install OpenAI. Okay, we're going to open code here. Okay, no, it's fine. And paste. So now we load the right one. And this is already running there with the right model. Answer in rhymes, introduce yourself, and that's it. So if we come back here and run local, you can already see the server is moving, and we've got our answer. Open source models, as I said, have a huge variety of offerings, and there's probably a model for almost anything. They're pretty good for most cases, although the quality doesn't quite yet get to the level of the giant models that you see by Anthropic or OpenAI. I would say they're probably good enough for most cases. There are times where you might still want to use OpenAI or Anthropic, especially if you need a very large context. But even on that, there are ways around it, which hopefully I'll cover in a video soon, so don't forget to subscribe. I hope this gives you a lot of flexibility, and for me at least, being able to run these models offline, I would say, is already a huge win. It just frees you up. But I would love to hear more about what you intend to do with this knowledge, so just please comment anything you might be building or want to build. Just let me know. Anyway, for now, I'll see you soon.